Thank you. Welcome everyone to the Finance and Corporate Committee meeting today. Could I ask Ken to do an opening karakia, please?
Absolutely. E te atua kaharawa, ho mai kia mātou te kaha, ki te whai atu I ngā huarahi tika, mo tēnei hui I tēnei rā, tihei moriora.
Thank you. Now move on to apologies, and welcome Liz, we can actually see you looking all right, so thank you. We have apologies from Councillor Andrew Brown and Councillor Coles on personal business, and we've got an apology for lateness from Councillor Morgan, who's on council business, and an apology from Mayor Susan O'Regan for about 2 o'clock or before 2, wasn't it, Susan?
That's for council business.
So could I have a mover and second for that? Councillor Montgomery and Councillor St Pierre, all in favour, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. Do we have any disclosure of members' interests? As Mr Webber used to say, we're all interested. Sorry. Martin.
Item 13, Waipapa and Gas Act clients of mine.
Okay, we note that.
Yeah.
Councillor Stowett.
Yeah, Bruce, I have texted you just on the Waikato Rowing perceived conflict of interest, please.
Okay, thank you. Those are both noted. Do we have any late items? No late items. So tab 14 is confirmation of the order of meeting, which is on page 6. There's a recommendation here that the Finance and Corporate Committee confirms the order of the meeting. Councillor Gordon, seconded by Councillor Brown. All in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried. Thank you. Now we've got confirmation of the minutes of the meeting held the 14th of May this year. Have been circulated. Do we have a mover and seconder the correct one? Councillor Gordon?
Oh, I was late. I only arrived at 3:20. Sorry.
Okay, well, Councillor Gould, I'll second it from the chair. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. Right, tab 6. We've got the financial report for the period ended 31st of May 2024. Welcome, Amy and Yolanda. You're right. Thank you. I'll let you lead this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. As of the 31st of May, we are at 82% of our total forecast for revenue and 91% for our operating expenditure. DCs and reserve contributions are currently sitting at 8.2 million, which is 46% of our total forecast. Our capital expenditure to date is 127.9 million, which is 65% of our forecast. We also have 1.8 million of our rates outstanding for the current year, and this is after our final billing instalment. And we also have 1.5 million owing for our water rates, and this is after prepayments of 189,000. And I will take the rest of the report as read, and then if you've got any questions.
Councillor Gordon.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for there seems to be something on page 7 and 8. There's item 4 on page 7, but then page 8, I think there's only half of item 5. Just let us know what the first couple of words are of that.
Councillor Gordon, it looks like it was cut off maybe when it was converted to PDF.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Do you know what they were?
I'll call up the original, okay, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Claire?
Yeah, thanks. The question I have is around the Capital Works program, maybe on page 3 of the report or page 16 of our agenda. Around the table here, we're interested in whether or not you're able to achieve 100% of what you needed to, this year. But I appreciate that the graph probably can't show that because you've had reforecasts or, new funding that wasn't expected and stuff like that. So how will we be able to work out whether or not you are achieving like 100% in those different categories? I also looked at the next page, which is, that sort of dashboard. And in a way, those panels sort of in the centre with the red and the blue might show that. Yeah, but that's sort of across, oh, well, yeah. Can you help me out? Yeah, what do you think?
Councillors and Pierre, I don't think we currently have a matrix that show you this is the original budget and for the different categories, and this is how much we've achieved. So we can go back and work with service delivery and see how we can incorporate that and provide feedback.
Yeah, because I don't want to add to work, but I mean, when we come to the end of the year, that's when we're wanting to know, like, given all the stuff there, the pluses and the minuses and, the changes and what's actually, pushed forward to the following year and stuff like that. But stuff that we needed to achieve this year, yeah, have we actually been able to get to 100%? Yeah.
We'll look into
Yeah,
that.
thanks.
Are there any further questions? I've got one on page of your report 12 of 25 hours on the water rate status. I was just interested, it's neat to know we've got 17,000 connections. Do you think in the future you could put it in brackets how that's grown by month, or maybe it'd be interesting?
We should be able to provide year-on-year growth,
Okay.
same time
Oh,
last year. That's
yeah,
okay.
no. I just said, yeah, certainly.
Well, yeah, just on that, and also, you are reporting on the number of properties in arrears, but it's also just a snapshot where it'd be quite good to have a trend, so understand whether or not it's growing or reducing, and that, so maybe whether that's in the last 12 months, I don't know, do you think? You wouldn't really want it multi-year, would you? It's more in the quarters, like
Be
each
too much work.
installment, or
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, I suppose all of that reporting, councillor, through the chair, all of that reporting is the comparator is just the one year. So yeah, so I guess we could report on so in terms of the amount of arrears and the number of properties it relates to, I guess we could give you the equivalent in this case at May 2023. I think we should be able to do that. Actually, the only thing, the only thing that just concerns me a little bit is the total number of properties in arrears. I think we've only been sort of publishing that in here due to a councillor request, probably for 6 months or so. Or
Months, yeah.
So I'm just not sure how easily we can recreate if we weren't reporting on it at this point last year. But we'll certainly soon get to the point where we can certainly put a comparative for the relevant month of the previous year.
Councillor Gordon?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And one of the things I talked with Ken about in the Audit and Risk Committee run through that we're talking about was development contributions and the number of graphs that we've got. But I wonder if there is any value, or if it's possible, to look at the average length of the repayment or the payment from issue, so that we get some idea of the trend. I think we're aware that it's actually pushing out now because of the economic climate. And it's interesting for us to see in terms of how much impact DCs have on our debt ceiling. Is it possible?
Yeah. So through the chair, I mean, that is a comment you made, a week, 10 days or so ago, councillor, and I suggested at the time we'd need to have a chat to Tony Coots about that. So Tony Coots is the one who really manages the development contribution space. But look, Yolanda, if you could maybe have that chat to Tony. So look, it was around about what sort of length of time are monies, remaining as uncollected DCs, and we could, sort of average that out and, just get an idea of the, the trend. But look, councillor, Tony's been away on leave for a few days, so we just haven't had the chance to catch up on that. But look, I think it is a great idea to get that, to actually get that information if it is achievable. And it would have to be on an average basis, obviously, around the DC invoices.
Look, on exactly the same topic, from a control point of view, I don't think the relevant data we're after is issue to payment. It's how the forecast's changing, because now they're getting much more detailed about forecasting the DCs. To us, any change in forecast is relevant, but what's happening out in the market, that informs the forecast, but it's probably not what we're looking for, because they get issued here, they get paid there. But it's not a financial control issue for us, I don't think.
Yeah, so just on that, yeah, I was thinking it'd be good to have a forecast. So, in the next year or the next 2 years, how much are we expecting to collect, or how much are we expecting to bill? Yeah, so that you've got an idea of how much our debt ceiling is going to be recovered, like I'd like to, so we haven't actually done that kind of forecasting very much in our reporting before. I'd love it to be on every growth cell, but I guess Tony Cootes might push back on that. But I think we've got to understand, so going forward, how much are we expecting collect in, the next 12 months, next 24 months and things like that?
Yeah. So look, through the chair, I mean, when we adopt our new LTP in June of next year, quite clearly we will need to give a forecast for our DC's revenue for the next 9 years. It's going to be a 9-year plan rather than a 10-year plan, obviously, this time round. But that will be a very key component of our LTP is, exactly what our revenue expectations are, timing, etc., for DCs over the 9-year period. And of course, what we're looking to do is to shape up those numbers between now and Christmas time. We're looking to land some draft LTP numbers by Christmas. Yeah.
So just responding to that. So, boy, that's going to be really tough to do an accurate forecast. I mean, I was thinking about, if it's, and I'm not, obviously it's going to happen. Yeah, you're going to do that.
Yes.
But this kind of reporting, I think if it's responding to the market conditions and what people know, developers' intentions. And so I think you could give a reasonable forecast, for the next 12 months or possibly 2 years. So I think, whereas if we just rely on the LTP forecasts and
I'd look, so through the chair, I wasn't looking to say that will be the last we think about DCs for the next 9 years. We've obviously landed a DC revenue number in our enhanced annual plan that we're looking to adopt next week. So that sets the budget for what the DC's revenue will be in the next financial year. We will need to be, and I guess what these graphs on page 18 are doing, particularly the one in the bottom right-hand corner, is is keeping a live running forecast. We would obviously have a budget that we're just about to adopt next week for next year's DCs, and then we will have to be forecasting against that during that year, because of the things that you're talking about, Councillor Clare. Things like market market movements, etc.
Can I just carry on this discussion? Because you looked like you thought that the reporting of payment of DCs would be better metric for us to get than the forecast just before. Would that be right?
No, I wasn't saying that through the chair. Councillor Gordon was sort of saying it would be good to understand, because I guess when you look at these graphs, I guess you are seeing sort of pictorially, you can see that that DC collection has certainly slowed down over the last 2 or 3 years. That is quite clear. I think what Councillor Gordon was looking for was, could we translate that into a a days for collection type thing. And despite what you said, Councillor, I think there could be valuable information if it is able to be produced pretty easily. I mean, if you think about real estate data metrics that are regularly published, the real estate agents the real estate data does publish the number of days for a house to sell, and it is actually really useful information to people to understand if houses are selling in 40 days or 60 days or 90 days or whatever. You can see some trends there. So on that basis, I think it is useful information. I'm not saying it's more useful or less useful than forward forecasts. I mean, I tend to agree with you. It should be all about the forecast going forward. But if it's an easily producible data set, then I see no reason why we couldn't actually show that data.
Okay, brilliant. And so what's the frequency of reforecasting for the DCs, do you know?
Look, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously in regard to council's main forecasting, we do that at 4 monthly and 8 monthly. So at a minimum, it would be that. But Yolanda, were we looking to forecast in the space more frequently than that, or would it just follow the 4 and the 8 monthly?
I would think that for 24-25 at least, given the date matrix that we are keeping an eye on, it would be
more frequent?
More frequent to have a look at what we're expecting for the year.
And so finally, this is telling us that graph on the bottom of page 18, that's telling us we need 8 million of DCs over the next month to make forecast, correct? Yeah. So that's the key number to watch over the next few days. Yeah.
Well, actually, sorry, just on that, I mean, through the chair. So, Yolanda, that 15.572 million forecast, actually, I'm not sure we've actually forecast that at the 31st of May to be coming in the month of June. I think that's probably going to be a little bit older than that, isn't it? So, was that done at the 8 monthly point?
The 15.5 was set at the 8 monthly report.
Yes. Yeah.
That
So
fed into our enhanced annual plan, right? That number will have fed into the enhanced annual plan?
For 23-24 results, not for 24-25.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
But wasn't that the start point for?
I beg to differ.
Okay.
Montgomery. So that was, so this morning we had a meeting with Tony, and the DC revenue is set based on the number of HEUs they're expecting to come online based on the work that's out there. So that's what would have set would lead the DC revenue to be set for 24-25. So it's not an add-on to this, to be a completely different number.
So sorry, just through the chair, just to clarify that point though. So Councillor Montgomery, you have raised a really good point though. So we're publishing that 15.572 million forecast there, but we're not giving any idea of when that actually forecast was actually set. The date of it, like I say, I suspect it was with the 8 month report, and Yolanda's confirmed that. We possibly just need a bit of a footnote, where we've got a forecast, to be really clear about what the date of that forecast was, because I think you have assumed, and quite rightly, in the absence of any other information, you've probably quite rightly assumed that that we actually forecast that at the 31st of May, and we're kind of expecting 8 million of DCs in the door in the month of June. We need to be really clear what the relevant dates are.
To be clear, one final question.
It is on that particular graph about the dates that are in there. So is it the date of the forecast or the date of the receipt of the DC itself? So, I mean, if you're doing is it the 8 month forecast for the end of the financial year? I'm not sure.
Sorry. Yes, look, I believe it would be. So that we're referring to the graph on the bottom right-hand corner, correct? So look, all of those, those, all three of those numbers were essentially the expectations, or in the case of the left-hand side, the actual, for the current year that we're in, the 23-24 year, 1 July 23 to 30 June 24.
Yes, I really support having enough information to be able to work that out. Yeah.
Can I just say thank you for changing the axis on the graph to millions instead of thousands? And sorry for audit and risk where I called it out. And you got to tell me if I'm wrong in future.
Thanks, Monty, and I'll draw that to conclusion. We've got a recommendation on page 14 that the Finance and Corporate Committee receive the report of Amy Turner, Management Accountant, titled Financial Report for the period ended 31st of May 24. Do I move this here? Councillor St Pierre, seconded by Councillor Montgomery. All in favour, please say aye. Carried, thank you. Right, now we've got the financial, oh no, we've got,
Civic.
oh, civic, sorry, yeah, tab 7. Who's going to lead? You want to lead off? Just Yolanda, thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Chair. This is a report to request the committee's approval for Ken, who's currently Director at Civic, to vote or to complete the proxy on behalf of WIPA. So there's 2 substantive matters that the annual general meeting would be voting on. One is receiving the annual report for Civic for the 23 financial year, and then appointing their company's auditor. I'll take questions. Thank you, Chair.
Any questions from Claire? One for you.
Yeah, thanks. It's for Ken, actually. I'd really like to know the kind of loans that Civic are entering into, because boy, that's a really big increase in earnings just over a 12-month period. And I wonder whether or not Civic would be interested in investing in council infrastructure loans as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, so through the chair, yeah, sorry, I'm just contemplating that question. Look, yeah, so I guess Civic, and as you can see on page 48 of the, I'm sort of speaking in the capacity of a Civic director here. So Civic is largely investing its surplus funds at this stage in term deposits with the bank. So for quite some time, Civic was actually, until very recently, Civic was actually lending money through, and in fact, actually you can see this here on page 48. You can see a loan receivable, a current asset loan receivable. So 0 in the 23 balance state, but it was $3.8 million in 2022. So that was a loan that Civic made to an associated entity, which is effectively Riskpool. So they actually lent the money to Riskpool. Riskpool then did a call that money could come back to Civic, and then Civic is investing that in term deposits. So your question is that would Civic be prepared to lend to councils for infrastructure projects, etc.? Well, look, I don't think the 6 million or so that, or well, actually add the cash in as well, the $8 or $9 million that Civic's got in cash type assets, cash or term deposit assets on its balance sheet. I mean, they're not going to go very far in terms of lending to the numerous councils. And look, I really don't believe that would be a part of the Civic brief either. So look, if anything, Civic has got a bit of a history, a bit of a tradition of returning funds to shareholders. They have done that in the past. At one point, Civic actually owned a building on Lambton Quay, and then probably about 5 or 6 years ago, determined that it really had no purpose for retaining ownership of that building. It sold it and made quite a significant return to shareholders. I think that would be the space where it would work if it was carrying too much cash on its balance sheet. They're just not in the space of lending to councils.
Oh, no, thanks. It's a bit tongue in cheek here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice try.
Right, if there's no further questions, I'll put the recommendation on page 26 at the Finance and Corporate Committee, and I won't read it all out. We've got A, B, C, A, B and C of C. Anyone prepared to move? Councillor Gower, Councillor Brown, all those in favour, please say aye. Thank you. Thank you, Yolanda. Sorry, Dale Marie, my apologies. You have been here one item and I should have got you before. Welcome. Right, now we've got tab 8, New Community Lease Waikato Rowing Club Incorporated. Councillor Storks acknowledged she may have a perceived conflict of interest, which I don't personally think has she? Does anyone have any opinion on that? Mind you, we have trouble hearing Liz, so I don't think she's talking.
I wasn't going to talk anyway. It's fine.
Okay, thanks, Liz. We could note it, could we? Yeah, so,
Yes, it's been noted.
okay, no, thank you. So Angela, how are you?
Hello, good
Welcome.
afternoon, Mr Chairman and committee members. I'm Angela McEwen from Council's property team. Today, as mentioned, I'd like to present a report to the committee which recommends that Council enter into a new lease to the Waikato Rowing Club. The club's located at the Karapiro Lake Domain, and that land is classified as recreation reserve. That recreation reserve is vested in Council through the Crown, and Council are appointed to administer and control the site. The proposed lease is to the existing long-standing tenant. The tenant owns the building that is erected on the site. The proposed lease is intended to be set out in accordance with Council's standard leasing policy, which is for an initial term of 5 years with 2 rights of renewal of 5 years each. You'll see in the report that the club has provided some really useful background information into their history, current membership, core values, etc. That information can be found in section 4 of the report. I'll take that part as read and happy to take any questions.
Do we have any questions? I think this is fairly straightforward, so I'll put the recommendation that Finance and Corporate Committee receives the report of Angela McEwen. That's an A, and there's B and C. Anyone like to move it? Councillor Peters, sorry, and Councillor St Clair, thank you. All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried, thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Angela. Right, now we've got tab 11. The next item is, oh no, we've got to go backwards. Go over resolution to exclude the public. Could I have someone to, Councillor St Pierre? I'll move from the chair. All in favour, please say aye. Thank you. We just need a